The girl sat alone in her wheelchair beneath the warm sun, sketching quietly as light filtered through the trees. Everything seemed calm, peaceful even, until a group of teenagers swaggered into the park. Their laughter broke the stillness. You could tell from the way they moved that trouble wasn't far behind. They started whispering, pointing, edging closer to her like a pack that had found easy prey. Then, out of nowhere, one of them threw a punch. The hit knocked her right out of her chair. She tumbled into the grass as the boys burst out laughing, proud of what they'd done. Nobody stepped in. Nobody even spoke up. Just silence, like the whole world had decided to look away. What happened next, though? You won't believe. It was an ordinary Saturday afternoon at Riverside Park. Families were having picnics. Kids kicked soccer balls back and forth. Couples walked their dogs. Just a normal, sunny day in a quiet neighborhood. That's when Maya showed up, the girl you saw at the beginning. She was 23, a graphic designer who loved photography and spent her free time drawing. Maya had been in a wheelchair since birth because of a spinal condition, but she never let that stop her. She rolled herself over to her favorite bench under an old oak tree, opened her sketchbook, and began to draw the ducks drifting across the pond. This place was her sanctuary. Her dad used to bring her here every weekend before he passed away 3 years earlier. Sitting under that oak made her feel close to him again, safe, grounded, at peace. But that peace didn't last long. 4 teenage boys wandered over, 17, maybe 18. The ringleader was a kid named Tyler, the type who'd never been told no in his life. Arrogant, spoiled, and always grinning like the world was his. When he spotted Maya alone, he smirked and nudged his friends. "Easy target." You could almost hear him think. It started with jokes. "Hey, check it out. Does that thing run on batteries, or do you gotta pedal it yourself?" one of them said. Maya didn't look up. She'd learned that ignoring people like that usually made them go away, but not this time. Tyler strutted closer, circling her like a shark that smelled blood. His friends pulled out their phones, ready to film whatever happened next. "Hey, I'm talking to you," he said, giving her wheelchair tire a little kick. Maya finally glanced up, her voice shaking. "Please, just leave me alone." Tyler sneered and mimicked her words in a high-pitched tone. His buddies burst out laughing. And here's the part that hurts the most. People saw it. Everyone around did. A mom grabbed her kids and hurried away. An older man trembled behind his newspaper, pretending to read. A jogger passed by without slowing down. A couple quietly packed up their picnic and left. No one said a word. Everyone had a reason to stay out of it. "It's not my problem. Don't get involved." Maya tried to back up, but Tyler stepped in front of her, blocking the path. He grabbed the handles of her chair and leaned in close. "Where are you going? We're not done here," he said. Her breath came quick and shallow, panic rising in her chest. "Please, I don't want any trouble." He laughed. "Then maybe you should have stayed home. This park's for normal people." One of the boys filming, Brandon, snickered. "Yo, Tyler, do something wild. This is gonna blow up online." That's when Tyler's smirk twisted into something darker. He pulled back his fist and punched her hard in the shoulder. It wasn't some playful shove. It was a real hit, full of anger and cruelty. The blow sent her tipping over. Her wheelchair clattered onto the grass. Pages from her sketchbook flew everywhere. Her glasses slid off. She hit the ground hard, gasping for air, trying to push herself up, but her arms shook too much. The boys high-fived like they'd just won something. Maya's hands were bleeding from the fall, her clothes smeared with dirt, and tears streamed down her face. She looked around, desperate for someone, anyone, to help. But people were turning their backs now, pretending not to see, pretending not to care. And then, you heard it. That low, distant rumble. At first it sounded like thunder, rolling far away, but it grew louder, deeper. The kind of sound that makes the ground vibrate beneath your feet. Engines. Dozens of them. Tyler's grin vanished. Brandon lowered his phone. The others froze. Within seconds, 23 motorcycles rolled into the lot, like an armored wave of chrome and thunder. Harleys, Indians, custom builds, the kind that told you these weren't hobby riders. These were real bikers. They parked in formation, a perfect semicircle around Maya's fallen chair. The engines cut off one by one until the park was dead silent again. Tyler's face went pale. His friends started backing up, but there was nowhere to run. The biggest rider stepped off his bike first. A mountain of a man. Gray beard, broad shoulders, late 50s, maybe 6'4", built like someone who'd seen life and survived it. The patch on his vest read, Jake Morrison, Iron Brotherhood MC. He'd served in the Marines, ridden across the country, raised money for charity, and carried himself like someone who'd never forgotten what honor meant. Behind him came the others. Diane, his wife, steady and sharp-eyed. Marcus, a giant built like a tank. Carol, an older rider who'd seen every state on 2 wheels. And Tommy, a Vietnam vet with a prosthetic leg and a custom chopper that roared like a lion. They stood together, 23 strong. But instead of storming the bullies, Jake did something that stunned everyone. He walked straight past them. He went down on one knee beside Maya, his shadow covering her like a shield. "Hey there, sweetheart," he said softly, his voice gentle and warm. "Name's Jake. You're safe now. Nobody's gonna hurt you anymore. Mind if I help you up?" Maya met his eyes and saw nothing but kindness. She nodded, too choked up to speak. Jake checked her over. "You hit your head? Anything feel broken?" She shook her head. "No, I don't think so." "Good," he said. "We'll get you back in your chair nice and easy." He turned to his crew. "Diane, grab her glasses. Marcus, upright that chair. Carol, collect those pages." They moved like a family that had done this 100 times before. Diane wiped Maya's glasses clean and handed them to her with a smile. Marcus set the chair upright. Carol gathered every loose sketch from the grass. Jake lifted Maya gently, settling her back into the seat like she was made of glass. "Thank you," Maya whispered, her voice cracking. "Thank you so much." Diane crouched beside her. "We saw everything from the road. Called in the whole club. Nobody does that kind of thing on our watch." Carol handed over the drawings. "These are beautiful. Sweetheart, you've got real talent." Then Tommy rolled up, tapping his prosthetic leg with a wry grin. "Lost this back in '69. I know how it feels when folks see the chair or the leg before they see the person. It ain't right." For the first time since the attack, Maya finally felt it again. Safety. Not from walls or locks, but from people who actually cared. People who still believed in doing the right thing. I stood there as Jake pushed himself up and turned toward Tyler. The cocky look had drained right out of that kid's face. Jake walked toward him slow and steady, while the rest of us closed ranks behind our president, arms folded, faces hard as stone. Tyler's buddies started to edge away, but Marcus stepped right in their path and blocked them. Where y'all think you're going? He growled. Brandon was still gripping his phone, hands trembling. Man, we were just kidding. Just a joke, he stammered. Jake's voice cut through like a knife. You think assault is a joke? He asked, stopping directly in front of Tyler. Son, I'm going to ask you something. Do you have a mother? Yes, sir, Tyler whispered. Do you love her? Jake pressed. Yes, sir. Any sisters? Any women in your life you care about? There was a short, guilty pause. I have a little sister. She's 12. Tyler's voice cracked on the last word. Jake let that sink in. Now picture your little sister, your 12-year-old, heading to the park one afternoon. Maybe she's in a wheelchair and some punk kid, someone just like you, comes up and punches her, knocks her down, films it for social media. How would that make you feel? Tyler's lips trembled. I'd want to kill them, he said, terrified and honest for the first time. Yeah, Jake said quietly. He motioned to Tommy. See Tommy over there? He lost that leg fighting for your freedom. Then he looked right at Tyler. And you repay that by attacking somebody who can't fight back? Tommy stepped forward, voice low. I've got a granddaughter about that age. She's got cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair. If anything like this happened to her. He didn't finish, but his meaning hit Tyler like a brick. Jake raised a hand and softened his tone. We're not here to threaten you. We're here to teach you. Then he turned back to Tyler with one more hard truth. You have no idea how lucky you are. Tyler started crying before he could stop himself. I'm so sorry, he sobbed. Don't apologize to me, Jake said, and pointed at Maya. Look at her. Tyler looked, really looked, for the first time. That young woman was minding her own business, and you attacked her to humiliate somebody who couldn't fight back. You know what we call people who do that? Tyler couldn't answer. Cowards, the lowest of the low. Jake's voice was steady. Real men don't pick on folks weaker than them. Real men protect them. Diane spoke up next, calm but fierce. I was a nurse for 35 years. Do you know what happens to people after something like this? PTSD, anxiety, depression. Some never feel safe again. Marcus stepped forward and held out a hand. Give me that phone. Brandon handed it over without a fight. Marcus didn't shout or smash it. He stared at it, then at the boys. The weight of the silence did the rest. Jake let that quiet sit for a beat. Then he laid out what was going to happen. First, you're going to apologize to Maya. A real apology. Look her in the eye and tell her exactly what you did wrong. Tyler nodded so hard, it looked like his head would come off. Second, you and your crew are going to volunteer at the Riverside Disability Center every Saturday for 6 months. You're going to learn what life is like for people in wheelchairs. Tyler swallowed. Yes, sir, I'll do it. Third, you will write a formal letter of apology and donate $500 to the center. Tyler's breath hitched. I will. I'll do all of it. Jake's last line left no wiggle room. And if any of us hears about you bullying anybody again, me and my brothers are going to have another talk with you. The Iron Brotherhood has chapters everywhere. We've got eyes everywhere. You clear? Crystal clear, Tyler choked out. Good. Jake nodded. Now go apologize. All of you. Tyler stumbled to Maya and got down to her level. He looked like a boy who'd just been scolded by life itself. Maya, he said, voice small and shaking. I'm so sorry. What I did was horrible, unforgivable. I did it to make myself feel big. and that was the most cowardly thing I could do. I'm really, truly sorry. I'll do everything you asked. I promise I'll change." His friends echoed the same sort of apologies, messy, awkward, but honest enough. Maya stared at them for a long, quiet moment. Then, with more grace than any of those boys deserved, she spoke. "I accept your apology," she said. "But you need to understand this wasn't just about me. People with disabilities face this all the time. We get stared at, mocked, treated like we're less than human. You've got to actually change. Because it's the right thing to do, not just because you got caught." Tyler nodded, tears mixing with shame. I will. I promise I will." After the boys left to start their punishments, something that had seemed so intimidating minutes before softened. Those bikers I stood with turned back into regular people. Folks with families, bills, hurts, and good hearts. Jake bent down and asked Maya the kind of thing a worried granddad might ask. "You okay, sweetheart? Need us to call someone? Hospital?" She wiped at her eyes and managed a small laugh that sounded like relief. "I'm okay now," she said. "My friend's picking me up in about an hour." Maya blinked up at us. "I still can't believe you all showed up. Thank you. Doesn't feel like enough." "You don't have to thank us," Diane said, straightening. "We did what anyone should have done. And that's the truth. Sometimes people do the right thing, even when everyone else looks away." Then Jake did something none of us expected. He reached for his leather vest, the one covered in old, weathered patches from decades of rides, battles, and brotherhood. Maya blinked. "Wait, what are you doing?" Jake smiled softly and draped the vest across her shoulders. It was huge on her, the leather heavy and warm, but somehow it felt like armor. "You're family now," he said. "This vest means something in our world. It means you're under our protection. You're one of us. And nobody messes with family." Maya looked down at the vest, tracing the patches with her fingertips. I can't take this. It's yours." Jake shook his head. "Exactly why I'm giving it to you. Important things belong to important people. And you, Maya, you're important. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise." That broke her. Tears filled her eyes again. Tears of gratitude, relief, and hope all mixed together. One by one, the bikers came over to introduce themselves. Marcus stepped up first and handed her a card. "I own a custom motorcycle shop," he said. "We've got a sidecar rig that's wheelchair accessible. You ever want to go for a ride? We'll take you out on our next run." Her eyes widened. "Really? I've never been on a motorcycle before." He grinned. "Well, that's about to change." Carol sat down beside her, leaning in with a smile. "My daughter runs an art gallery downtown," she said. "She's always looking for new artists. You interested?" Maya's mouth fell open. "Are you serious? I've dreamed about that since I was a kid." "Talent's talent, honey," Carol said. "And you've got plenty. I'll give her a call this week." Tommy rolled closer, his prosthetic leg gleaming in the sun. "You know what I learned after I lost mine?" he said gently. "Your disability doesn't define you. It's just part of your story. You've got more courage than most folks have in their whole body." Before they left, Jake had one last surprise. "We take a photo after every big ride," he said with a grin. "Mind if we take one with you?" Maya wiped her eyes and smiled. "I'd love that." So we all gathered around her. 23 bikers in leather and denim, standing tall with Maya right in the middle. Jake's vest still draped around her shoulders. When the camera clicked, Every single one of us was smiling the same kind of smile. Family smiles. Say brotherhood, Jake said. Brotherhood, everyone echoed. Then Jake knelt down one more time, eye to eye with her. Maya, what happened today wasn't your fault. You did nothing wrong. There are still good people in this world. Sometimes they just need a reminder to step up. She nodded. I'll remember that. Good, he said. And remember, if you ever need anything, day or night, you call us. You've got a family now. The bikers mounted their bikes, engines rumbling to life again. One by one, they gave her a wave before riding off in perfect formation, disappearing down the road like a convoy of guardian angels. But the story didn't end there. 3 months later, Maya's life looked completely different. Carol's daughter kept her word. She gave Maya her first solo art exhibition. 23 pieces, one for each biker who'd stood beside her that day. The gallery was packed opening night. Every member of the Iron Brotherhood showed up, dressed in their best, proud as hell. Maya sold 16 paintings that night. Just like that, she was officially a professional artist. Marcus made good on his promise, too. He built her a custom sidecar rig and invited her on the club's annual autumn ride. She joined, wind in her hair, laughing the whole way. Photos from that ride hit social media, and this time, they went viral for the right reasons. People were inspired. Marcus ended up starting a whole side business building accessible motorcycle sidecars. And Tyler? He kept his word. Every Saturday, he showed up at the Riverside Disability Center. At first, he was stiff, awkward, just a kid doing his community service hours. But around the 8th week, something changed. He met a little boy named Danny, 7 years old, cerebral palsy, obsessed with superhero comics. Tyler started bringing him new issues every week. He helped Danny with his physical therapy. He started showing up early, staying late. By month 6, he wasn't there because he had to be. He was there because he wanted to be. He even switched his college major to occupational therapy. Did he and Maya ever become friends? Not exactly. Some wounds take time. But he did write her that letter. 5 handwritten pages of honesty and remorse. He donated not $500, but $2,000. Maya framed a piece of that letter on her wall. It said, "You taught me that strength isn't about what your body can do. It's about who you choose to be when life gets hard. I'll never forget that. Thank you for giving me that chance." Maya still visits Riverside Park. Same oak tree, same bench, same ducks. But she's never there alone anymore.